From the comments I get on my channel, it seems that quite a few viewers would like to change some of the Social Security disability rules. And in a recent video, I expressed my opinion that the delay between the onset of disability and when Social Security enrolls somebody in Medicare is rather unreasonable. Just to recap, suppose you suddenly become disabled, say from a stroke, something that happens within minutes. Your Social Security disability payments won't begin until you've been disabled for 5 months. And you won't be enrolled in Medicare until you've been receiving Social Security disability payments for another 24 months. That means if you became disabled today from a stroke, it would be 29 months before you had Medicare health coverage. What if, like some people who have a stroke, you needed immediate surgery to prevent a second stroke that could either render you more disabled or kill you? You would have no health care coverage from that. In this video, I'm going to talk about how some people successfully changed Social Security's rules and how you can do the same. Hello, I'm John Foster. I'm a medical doctor who does Social Security disability exams, and as usual, everything I say reflects my own opinions based on my own experience and study, and not the opinions of the Social Security Administration or any other medical body. Now, to begin with, I need to talk a little bit about a condition called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease, after the famous baseball player who died from this condition. Amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is a progressive degenerative disease of the brain and spinal cord. The nerves that control the muscles in the body gradually die off, and consequently, the person becomes gradually weaker and weaker and weaker. And not only the muscles in the arms and legs, but also the muscles necessary for speech, swallowing, and breathing. And that's usually what causes these folks to die. It's a miserable condition to have, and there is no cure. There are some medications that can help slow it down somewhat, but there is no cure. These people usually initially have stiffness, weakness, and muscle twisting. Their muscles gradually shrink away, become smaller and smaller. And in about 10% of cases, they have trouble with their thinking and memory, not just muscle weakness. Although the problems with thinking and memory are usually not severe. And if you're finding this video interesting, you may want to subscribe to my channel. I generally put out one disability-related video a day on Friday mornings. The condition is usually sporadic, meaning that it comes out of the blue, although in about 1 in 10 cases, it's genetic. It runs in families. It can affect any age, but most commonly begins in the early 60s. And once somebody's been diagnosed with it, the life expectancy is 2 to 4 years, although some people do live past 10 years. It is in what Social Security calls the compassionate allowances, which are diseases for which there is no cure, which generally result in death. And that's normal. Many conditions for which there are no cures and result in death are in the compassionate allowances. However, there is special consideration for amyotrophic lateral sclerosis only, and Congress actually passed a law, the ALS Disability Insurance Access Act, of 2019. By this law, if the person is disabled due to ALS, meeting Social Security's criteria for disability, their disability payments begin immediately. There is no 5-month waiting period like there is for most other people. And they're immediately enrolled in Medicare. There's no additional 24-month waiting period like there is in Medicare. So why did this condition get this special law and consideration? Well, first of all, it's easy to be sympathetic to people with the disease. It's a terrible disease. Consider that these people gradually become weaker and weaker and weaker until they die. And most retain their full mental faculties. They're completely aware of what's going on up until the point where they die. But they had to get a law passed. And the way this was done was through these patients and their family members and friends lobbying Congress. That's how the ALS Disability Insurance Access Act of 2019 came to be. And if you want to see a Social Security rule change, commenting on YouTube will have no effect. The way to do it is to lobby Congress. Every American has 2 federal senators and 1 federal congressperson. You can find their names and addresses on the internet, and you can write to them. And every person who writes a letter to the government gets taken seriously. You can also form an online forum to lobby for your condition. And you can enlist the help of family members and friends and co-workers, if you're working, to assist you in getting rules changed or laws passed. You can also write to the Social Security Administration. I'll have the information in the description to this video below, but basically you want to write to the Social Security Administration, to Carolyn Colvin, who's the acting commissioner, Office of Public Inquiries and Communications Support, 1100 West High Rise, 6401 Security Boulevard, Baltimore, Maryland, 21235. So if you want to do more than complain on YouTube, that's what you need to do. And you may just be able to get special legislation passed, just like these people with amyotrophic lateral sclerosis. And just so you know, there isn't a huge number of people with ALS in the United States. The most recent numbers I could get, which was from several years ago, said that there were about 10,000 people living with the disease. In a country with a population over 330 million, that's a small percent. But they made their voices heard, made their wishes known, and they got things changed. Well, I hope this has been helpful, and as always, remember, if it happens, it's possible.